Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Angela Brennan and today I'm using the Spellbinders Small Die of the Month. It has got 13 separate cutting dies and it is called the Stitch Curved Border and Ornaments. This long die, it can cover a slimline card which is about 3.5 by 8.5 inches, and it's got one long die which is just going to cut stitching holes of circles which can be used as ornaments, and two border dies that will die cut the entire curve out. So I use it interchangeably. I use some of it with the curved border that has got a cutting edge, so it's got a curved edge, and I just used some of the circle long just to cut a few lines of those wavy circles. I also use the ornament. There are three main ornament dies, and these ornament dies, two of them come in 3 parts and the other one comes in 2 parts, so you can use all three together to cut a full ornament, because only the largest die of the ornaments has got the cutting edge, and then you also got the ornament toppers. I love this set. It's perfect to make Christmas cards. For my first card, I use all three ornament dies and its separate components, the toppers of the ornament, as well as the long thin die that used as a string of the ornament. It's a very simple card but so effective, and it can be used with so many color combinations. I do get carried away and make many cards, and I use some really old embossing photos as the background. I'm going to leave you with some music. Stick around and see how I make these cards. I'll catch you later. For the second card, I just cut one layer of the ornament in white card, and I have a really colorful background. The background is made up of strips of cards that I've used from my scraps. I show how I make this background with strips of scrap cards in another video, and I'll put a link to that video in the description below. After making many cards with the ornament dies, which I'll show at the end of the video, I move on to the long die with the circular dots that can be stitched. I've already used the long die and its cutting edges to make a few cards. In this card, I've used the long die and the cutting edge once, and then the long die with the circular holes twice to create a 3-tiered wave of circular holes which can be stitched on or left without any stitches and put just a colorful card behind it. Here I show how I use the long die with the circular holes as well as one of its curved cutting edge to cut on a card. So this time cut the full length and then I decide which portion I want to use to make an A2 cut. I do change my mind a few times, but I end up making a portrait side folding A2 card. I do back up the die cut element of the card with lots and lots of foam tape to give it some dimension and then adhere it to the bottom of the A2 card. I also use the dies from the large die of the month November 2021. I'll put a link to the large die of the month video in the description below. I used the poinsettias and the foliage to make some of the embellishments for this card. Now for the roundup of all the cards I made. This is the first card with the striped background of card scraps and a single layer of the ornaments. And this one I stitched on the ornaments and I added loads of tiny gems on the ornaments. And I did this to all the ornament cards. I loved adding some gems to the ornaments and I added some of the foliage and poinsettia as well. Here in these ornament cards, I focused on different color combinations of the ornaments. And I didn't stick to the traditional Christmas colors, but I mixed and matched some with some pastel colors, blues and yellows, and I loved the green and blues especially. That's a personal favorite of mine. They look like a cool Christmas card, like more icy cool. These are all the cards that I used the ornament dies on, and you can see I embellished it in quite a few ways, but in almost every card I used the tiny gems because I think they really add to the ornaments and make it look so pretty. Close-up pictures of all these cards on my blog. Do head over to check out the blog. This is the completed card where I did not stitch on the circular circles with the dots where you could stitch, but I put a colorful card behind it. This is a slimline card which I just kept the colors really simple. This is another slimline card where I turned the circular dots, I stitched them and made them into tiny baubles, Didn't add any more embellishments. I want to keep the card really simple. This is this mini slimline card which I showed earlier. Used pastel colors and decided to make it a New Year card to show like bursts of fireworks. And this is another card where at the bottom of it I used an embossing folder. These are all the cards. Do head over to my blog and check out all the cards I've made. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And remember to press the notification bell so you're notified when new videos are uploaded. Happy crafting. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll catch you at my next video. Take care.